And now, the nations of the world, brought to you by Yakko Warner.
United States.
America, land of the free, home of the brave, inventor of Chinese food.
Canada.
Canada, what you get if America and Britain had a baby they abandoned in the snow.
Mexico.
Mexico, or as you may know it, spicy Canada, the only place you can get a truly authentic volcano quesarito.
Panama.
Panama, a country you think about so little, you don't realise that's not Panama, that's the outline of a Scotty dog. This is Panama.
Haiti, Jamaica, Peru.
Life isn't just a fairy tale land of alpacas and pan flutes, Peru. At some point, you've got to pull your weight. And don't give me the whole, oh, but John, our population is the size of Texas and the war on terror is a hopeless geopolitical paradox. That's bullshit, Peru!
Republic Dominican, Cuba.
Cuba, Florida's teardrop tattoo.
Caribbean, Greenland, El Salvador, too. Puerto Rico, Colombia, Venezuela.
Venezuela, a.k.a. North-South America.
Honduras, Guyana, and still Guatemala.
Guatemala, a country you think about so little, we're just going to leave up a map of Central America and make you look up which one it is. Crack a book. I'm not here to spoon-feed you what's Guatemala.
Bolivia, then Argentina.
Argentina, Argentine tradition, every bit as grand as the tango and hiding Nazis. But both of which they are flamboyantly good at.
And Ecuador, Chile, Brazil.
Brazil, the country with the second most valuable Amazon on Earth.
Costa Rica, Belize, Nicaragua, Bermuda, Bahamas, Tobago, San Juan. Paraguay, Uruguay, Suriname, and French Guiana, Barbados, and Guam.
Norway, the left testicle in the frigid sea penis of Scandinavia.
In Sweden and Iceland.
Iceland, seems in Iceland the line of succession goes Prime Minister, the guy in charge of the fish, the Secretary of licorice-flavoured schnapps, a litany of elves that live in assorted boulders, and finally anybody in a wool sweater who's feeling political.
And Finland.
Finland is on all the good lists, like countries with the best pastries, or best countries to host your overseas lesbian wedding.
Then Germany.
Germany. Who dares have the hubris to assume they deserve great wealth for mere excellence in trivia? Beautiful language. And Wolfgang Boschbach! Just like honey off the tongue.
Now one piece. Switzerland.
Switzerland, where the national dance is collapsing from altitude sickness.
And Austria, Czechoslovakia, Italy.
We all know the three most famous stereotypes of Italian culture are that they have close family relationships, they turn international negotiations into shouting matches, and they enjoy cooking pasta for dogs. You know, Italians. Turkey. A country, a bird, and the meanest thing you could call someone in 1956.
And Greece.
Greece, a country of and in ruins.
Poland, Romania, Scotland.
Scotland. Americans know it as the birthplace of Shrek and that accent you think you can do but actually can't.
Albania, Ireland.
Ireland, a country with a slightly higher Irish population than the Dropkick Murphys. Europe's Boston, home of more red hair than Deborah Messing's shower drain.
And Russia.
Russia, a country that will continue to be funny until it suddenly isn't. The prequel and sequel to the Soviet Union. The future home of 45 million Ukrainians. Earth's Death Star.
Oman, Bulgaria, Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia, the Mecca of Meccas.
Hungary.
Hungary. Yes, Hungary. The fantasy home for every little girl who's young enough to love castles but not quite old enough to be aware of neo-fascist political parties.
Cyprus, Iraq, and Iran.
Iran, the greatest threat to Salman Rushdie since Padma Lakshmi's divorce attorney. America's relationship with Iran. It's the Star Wars of international relationships. Good in the 70s, terrible for a long time, and now hopefully on the brink of a revival.
There's Syria, Lebanon, Israel.
Drama-wise, the opposite of Canada.
Jordan, both Yemen, Kuwait, and Bahrain. The Netherlands, Luxembourg.
Luxembourg. Did you know that if you Google interesting Luxembourg facts, the result is just a page that says no?
Belgium.
Though Belgium does have one thing in common with Budweiser. Historically speaking, Germans refuse to acknowledge that it's even there.
And then Portugal, France.
France, the Frenchest thing imaginable. A croissant sitting in a cafe eating a baguette. Or maybe a mime feeding invisible cheese to his invisible mistress with a visible erection. The United Kingdom. Birthplace of the Beatles, and yet very much the world's Ringo. A place whose very name after this week's events is beginning to sound a bit sarcastic.
Denmark.
Denmark, also known as Wrong Norway, different Sweden, and that's actually not Finland.
In Spain.
Spain, returning from a semester abroad in Spain and insisting on calling it Barcelona. You are the worst. The worst.
India.
India. And honestly, the last time a British person said that, we didn't leave for about 200 years. India, or as we once called it, Britain's spice rack.
Pakistan.
Pakistan, well, probably drone strikes.
Burma, Afghanistan.
Afghanistan, it's just the tip of international conflicts. We jumped in too fast, went in further than we originally intended, and now we're pulling out way more slowly than we said we would.
Thailand, Nepal, and Bhutan. Cambodia, Malaysia, then Bangladesh, Asia, and China.
China. Manufacturers of everything except that piece of crap clay jar you got for Mother's Day. A 3.7 million square mile panda fuck pad.
Korea.
North Korea. Earth's Florida. North Korea. Named Best Korea for 70 years running by North Korea magazine.
Japan.
Japan. A nation so vibrant, not even Sofia Coppola and the band Air could make it boring. Japan. Earth's pervert uncle.
Mongolia, Laos, and Tibet, Indonesia, the Philippine Islands, Taiwan, Sri Lanka, New Guinea.
Papua New Guinea. That's as unlikely a pairing as Sofia Vergara and Reese Witherspoon.
Sumatra, New Zealand.
New Zealand. We are not Australia. New Zealand. Now, you may know it as the homeland of Lord, or that place where people who are happier than you go on vacation. Now,
Then Borneo and Vietnam, Tunisia, Morocco, Uganda.
Do you
Angola, Zimbabwe, Djibouti, Botswana, Mozambique, Zambia, Swaziland, Gambia, Guinea, Algeria, Ghana. Burundi, Lesotho, and Malawi, Togo, the Spanish Sahara is gone. Nigeria.
Nigeria, the country whose prince is going to be sending you some of that money he owes any day now.
Chad and Liberia, Egypt.
Egypt, or as ISIS calls it, next.
Benin and Gabon, Tanzania, Somalia, Kenya and Mali, Sierra Leone and Algeria, Dahomey, Namibia, Senegal, Libya, Cameroon, Congo, Zaire, Ethiopia, Guinea-Bissau, Madagascar, Rwanda, Major and Cayman, Hong Kong, Abu Dhabi, Qatar, Yugoslavia, Crete, Mauritania, then Transylvania, Monaco, Liechtenstein, Malta and Palestine, Fiji, Australia.
Australia. Not just the country where Russell Crowe lives, but very much the Russell Crowe of countries.
Sudan.
England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales, and now this song is done. And that's it. That's it.
Miss a bitch.
I'm starving, gnarly, radical, on the block I'm magical. See me at your college campus.
Karma's a bitch.
I'm starving, gnarly.